Okay, I am live. Hello, hello. It's Friday afternoon, and I want to talk about something that is crucial to manifesting. This is basically this is basically the teaching of Neville Goddard and other people who study scripture in with an understanding that this is psychological. This is not secular history. This is psychological. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. We take this lightly. We tend to cherry pick, and I'm here to tell you that is the reality. That is how this imagination is reality. The scriptures are about psychology. They are psychological states. They are an understanding that this is a plan, right? It's a plan. Salvation of man is a plan. Hi, Laura. You know what? I'm just here to pound this in. And I know it's a little bit deep, and I know sometimes people are like, I just want to manifest what I want to manifest. And yeah, I'll think about things that I want, and I'll try to switch that. And everyone is pushed out, and people are grappling with that. But I'm going to say this right to your faces. If you are willing enough, you're open-minded enough, or you are self-seeking enough, or you're just demanding enough, or ballsy enough, or whatever word you want to be. But the bottom line is you want your shit, right? You're willing to believe in manifestation. Other people, you all have shared, most people have gone through stuff where you'll say like, oh, people think I'm crazy. I feel like I'm crazy. If I tell my friends don't believe it. I do. So you're so bold. I believe in manifestation. Okay. And you'll do these things. You'll write down the things. You'll do these things. Hey, Peggy, so good to see you. I was thinking about you, so of course you had to be. But I'm not kidding you. If you know Neville Goddard, not even just Neville Goddard. I mean, like I said, I've explained myself as to why I love Neville Goddard, because for this time and age, he is easily available. It is free. It is everywhere. He has spent his life discussing this. He covers every topic. He explains it again and again and again. I mean, it's there. It's he gives examples. It's everywhere. Other people have learned it. Other people have invested in it. Other people are talking about it. Are there, Abdullah and people before him and before him and people that understood it, and the people who wrote, right? The anonymous people who wrote the scriptures. Those are real people. Explaining to us what this is. And we don't want to accept it. We just want the magic. But then when we find out how the magic is happening, we are like, nah. Life is imaginary. So if I don't know exactly how, like, if you're sitting here and you're like, listen, I've been trying to manifest, and I'm on a strict diet, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I'm like, I'm trying to be high vibe, and I'm trying to do that, I'm trying to do that, if you don't grasp and be willing to accept, like, at some point you just have to be willing to accept this. It's all fucking imagination. The basis of his teaching, Jesus, this is one sentence you need and you could go manifest forever. Right? Jesus is your own wonderful human imagination. What you imagine to be true. And then when you persist in that imaginal act, though false in this realm, will harden into a fact. Your concept of yourself. Think about what that means. What are you conceptualizing? And where are you conceptualizing? From your that matters. Why does that matter? Because our brains literally have different hemispheres, right? The right side of the brain is where our subconscious, our imaginative side is, our logical side, our sensory side is the left side. So where are you conceptualizing your life from? Maybe more helpful, maybe, to me it kind of is. It's kind of a newer thought that's come to my mind to explain it. It's where are you what is conceptualizing, right? It's imagining, it's coming up with, it's designing, it's the concept. So healing and all this bullshit, all these things, and all the rigmarole and all the, get text over and this, blah, 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 blah. That you'll believe, as if that's not utter nonsense. That you'll believe. And yet you want these things, you want these people, you want this new life, you want this story, you're all into it, right? And yet the very basic teaching that people are tagging as Neville Goddard teachings, and they're telling you, you have to imagine it, you have to imagine it. And they're telling you everyone is Eucharist out and that people have no free will. They're standing by that, right? But they're entertaining and coming up with answers that are useless to you, right? There are ways to bridge stuff, but you can make this easier for yourself. And that's where I'm coming in at this consciousness. This has been going on for years. I've been in this community for years. So it takes some time to level up, right? But I didn't find my way to people saying this. So if you have found your way to be sitting here, then you have fucking imagined me. You created me to come here to tell you this. And that's the way that this works. If you don't believe it, that's fine. But that's what law of assumption is. And that's what the teachers of law of assumption are telling you. That's what the scripture is. That's what it's telling you. So so what does that mean to you? It means that when we say literally, you are animating every scene you walk into, that as much as it seems like Laura's another person or Peggy's another person or whatever, you are other people, but you are in your own dream, your own world, your own space, imagining your own situation. And I'm in my own space, imagining my own situation. And so right now we are in the same dream, the same imaginal act. We're personifications. My imagination is creating the concept that Laura and Peggy obviously are willing to hear this, believe this, want to learn it, some sort of something. I'm going to have probably some beliefs that, people may not like it, or they may say, no, that you're wrong. So there could be, someone showing up that spams you or something. Like, we don't know every single belief. We just know in general that we believe in lots of different things existing, right? We believe in conflict. We believe in this. We believe in that. We believe in disagreements. We believe in something being easier to believe than others. We believe, right? We believe in all different things in general. But when I was going over the myths, which first of all, if you want to get the myths, The 12 myths, which actually I should just stop saying if you want to get the myths, because you're getting the myths everywhere you go. If you want to get access to the 12 truths of manifesting, just leave a comment here. Watch this, listen to it. Leave a comment that says, give it to me, please. Give me the truth. If you want to go over this more, I have one-on-one coaching. We can talk about it more. If you want to go over it with groups of people in a small group setting and to figure out ways to, it's one thing to know it, but then what do we do with it? And how do I start training my imagination? How do I start doing that? Right? Laura and Peggy happened to be here. They were excellent people who took advantage of every single thing for themselves. I love them for it. That's why I did it. It worked for me. Everything we do is egocentric because it's all me, imagining for me. So I'm testing to see, let's see what kind of, what would help. It's so me, I'm imagining it. So of course I create people who are really interested, and everybody did fantastically, but some people did better than others. And, out of thousands of people in the Facebook group and here and there, a handful kept showing up. Peggy, Laura, Claire, shout out to you guys and a couple others. And so, yeah, to imagining that it really was an amazing experience. And it was. And I think lovingly of them. And that's how I'm going to always do that. But once I wake up, once I leave here, I'm leaving this segment of a dream. They're gone. And same for that, for me. When they're doing something else, I'm gone. Everybody's gone. We're all gone. I just cannot express this enough that you're not imposing on anyone's free will because it doesn't exist, because there is nobody else. You cannot do anything in 3D because you're literally fighting with shadows and dolls and puppets, and I don't care what you want to call it. Fruit, flowers, however you like to imagine or visualize something that makes sense to you as a product of what you've been imagining. And if you know any Neville, even a little bit, this is all familiar to you. This is all familiar to you. What we imagine is planting a seed, is impressing into our subconscious, is giving birth, is, again, I talked about this in my Facebook Live. There's a reason that it is told in so many different parables, in so many different ways. Because if it was just something so simple, like, hey guys, by the way, here's a secret to life, whatever. It's called, it has a name. It's called this, or, drink a glass of water or something. Would you need to be reminded endlessly and told that in 1,000 different analogies and have people creating content thousands of different ways, saying the same thing in some sense? But what I'm telling you is I'm going deeper than this. You need to, the words, if they mean nothing to you and they're not really going to get you very far, I'm sorry. I don't give a shit if it's a limiting belief. I don't care, because guess what? You don't even exist. I'm imagining you. So now why would I imagine that? Well, because it's going to be at my level of understanding. So when I come in at a consciousness, so that's the other thing though. It's like, this is not a judgment. This is honestly part of the ascension, part of the progress, part of God's plan unfolding. I have created in my mind that this is what I do. This is what I love. This is what I want to do. And you've done that too. For every doctor, you've created a sick person. For every, cop, you've created a criminal. For every whatever, you've created that. For every whatever, you've created that. But there's a reason that we're kind of generally drawn to things, right? Or have an interest in things. We were asleep. There's a great lecture, and actually I'm in the middle of working on recording it. I'm doing the foundation stone, which I kind of put on hold right? Because the last YouTube that I did, which you should watch 1, 2, and 3, it's all about where our awareness is and how this works. Where your awareness is what is going to start to form and fold, because it's what you're seeing, it's what you're imagining, right? And if your awareness is on the things that are already created, that's why it's called the dead, right? Look in this, I'll just read you one little bit. I'm not going to get into this because this is what I'm actually, like I said, in the middle of recording from The Core of Man from 1967. This is from the last chapter of William Blake's poem, Jerusalem, is addressed to the Christians. In it, he says, devils are false religions. I know of no other Christianity and no other gospel than the liberty both of body and mind to exercise the divine arts of imagination. Imagination, the real and eternal world of which this vegetable universe is but a faint shadow, and in which we shall live in our eternal or imaginative bodies when these vegetable mortal bodies are no more. The apostles know of no other gospel. What is this talent which is a curse to hide? What are the treasures of heaven which we are to lay up for ourselves? Are there any other mental study? Are they anything other than mental studies and performances? This is the only Christianity Blake could affirm. He never knew any other gospel or Christ other than his own wonderful human imagination. If you will accept your human imagination as Christ and practice the divine art of imagining, called repentance, which we know is what? A radical change of mind, Christ will rise in you and you will experience Scripture. When you repent, a radical change of thinking must occur. If life is bad and you practice the divine art of imagining, you will think that life is good. Okay? So, seriously, I'm in the middle of working on that and talking more about that. So that's why I don't want to get too much into it now. We talked a little bit yesterday in the Facebook Live about, again, conceptualizing from imagination. We've talked endlessly about it, being your imagination. We've read chapters 1 and 2 are I am, which is awareness and awareness. So like I was saying, if you were focusing on your awareness is coming from, focusing on the vegetable, the dead, the dream, the puppets, the fruit, the shadows, whatever, this outer world, right? Like Laura says, she loves the Ed Art. I do too, where he says, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the inner man. Everything else is just waiting his shift, right? That's the truth. That's the truth. Like, so where your awareness is, that's what you're imagining. The problem is you're imagining from your logical side. You're conceptualizing your life from the side that is logical and relies on the senses. And Neville has all the answers. No one should ever give you an answer about anything for after create some sort of imaginal scene or write some sort of script or write a fucking sentence. If I were living the life that was XYZ, whatever it is I want, how to live in the end. Aside from doing simple things like saying thank you and things like that, what would I say? What would I be saying? I certainly wouldn't be talking about some dead shit. I certainly wouldn't be talking about what I see if it were how I wanted it to be and I believed that I was a creator and it was how I wanted it to be. Right? So why are you? So when you're making yourself concept, Neville will say again and again, just tell me what you want. And now create an end scene or a sentence, because it's your thoughts, right? That would tell you that you would tell people, that you would say to yourself, that you would be grateful for, that would be nice. And it doesn't even have to be that. It really doesn't have to be so intense. When he's talking about the feeling, it's just a feeling of relief, a feeling of knowing it's done. It feels good. Think about something in your life right now that just is good. That's okay. That's not a problem area. Right? And then don't even stop there. A lot of people are like, oh wow, I just want some more money, or I just want this, or I want that. Really? So you would keep your job? You would love to be going to the gym and keep your job and all those things? You would love to be doing that? If anything, if nothing mattered, like if you owned this entire earth, and like that could be healthy, like that could be in shape, like that could have anything you want, like that could be with anyone doing anything, that's, you would just basically be chill. And I'm not saying everybody needs to be rich, or have a yacht or have a mansion, because those are superficial things. But what about just with your time and your energy and your creativity and that kind of thing? I know there's things you'd rather be doing. I know there is. And you can imagine them. So when we look at these people that seem to have these, fantastic lives, right? We're like, wow, they must be so special with that, right? But yet, then why don't you want to have that? Like, why wouldn't you want to have at least some parts of those lives? Like, why wouldn't you want to? You wouldn't want to just be able to pick up and travel with your friends every once a month, and just think about like sometimes I think about like the Beverly Hills Housewives, right? Now they're a hot mess and blah blah blah, but they take their friends, they get together, and they like take turns going on these, lavish vacations and being served and this and that with their best friends. What if you just did that? Just like took your family, your friends, people, strangers. What if you were able to do those kind of things? What if you opened up like schools where you could take kids who because we live in this world of hardened and defact, and we know we can start repenting and start imagining that you open like some sort of really cool home where you get these kids that have had no, like foster kids or something, and you can teach them this and make them feel so powerful, and watch them like really like recreate and believe this and buy into it, and just watch them shining, glow, and create these beautiful lives. That's not of any interest. You'd rather be at the gym. Like, I don't believe that. The problem is we don't have enough faith. So the reason I'm talking about this all like this now is that the possibilities are endless. The things we want are almost laughable when you think that you have this kind of power. When you really buy in and accept that, I'm just fucking imagining it. And if I will just conceptualize the idea from anything I can possibly imagine, and I can just have the fortitude of character, some discipline of mind to just know that and stay there. And that's what faith really is. Without faith, you can't please God. Why? Because you're God. And without faith, you're going to constantly be falling back into this. And God wants to move. This is a plan. This is an unfolding. And again, I touched on this on Facebook Live, and I'm going to touch on it again and again. This is not a fucking comic book. You are not the part of God who has like laid himself down, figured out this plan. You existed before all of life, gave you dominion over life, because it's all you. It's all you. It's all you. You're not the piece that's so powerless that you can't get a text. but yet you're the piece that's so powerful. You're you're blowing the whole fucking plan. You're destroying God's plan for salvation of man. You have that power. You're the rogue fractal. That's your comic book. The rogue fractal. Maybe we should make that. So there is no fiction and there is no fact. Right? There's no fiction and there's no fact. There's stories of people who have written, Neville has some really cool stories and examples of like people have written books and written stories and then like the actual event happened. And that's where we get these like predictions and all that. Well, yeah, because someone's actually imagining it and creating it and sticking to it, and they're in their creative faculties. Oh, does art imitate life or does life imitate art? Do these things sound familiar? Like, start putting some pieces together. That's why I was talking yesterday about why are we in a human body? Why do we have both sides? Why is it if any two shall agree? Because when they work together, right, we need a lot. We do need some logic because the logic helps us put this together so that they can be in agreement. I need to be able to think logically about what am I being aware of? What am I learning in order to learn this, in order to then apply it all? And I completely grasp that it's fucking weird. Yeah, it's weird. But you know what? A lot of things are weird. We accept tons of weird shit. Religion itself is fucking weird. Sit up, stand down. You can't eat meat on this day. You can't eat meat on that day. This person can be here. They can't. You can. You can't. That's not weird. That's not weird. We accept a lot of weird shit that's not in our benefit. Liberate yourself. Repent. Or else, why are you here? Why not go back to sleep and just walk amongst the world and just be free? Why torment yourself? Why hang out here? Why drag this out? Why do you think Paul keeps saying they don't die fast enough? You should be wanting to throw yourself on the crosses. And, some people have said to me, I've imagined that some people have said to me, not everyone understands it. Not everyone understands it. I get that. And that's why there are teachers who teach preschool. And that's why there are teachers who are professors in PhD programs. Because some people are teaching preschoolers and some people are teaching PhD candidates, right? You don't bring yourself to a different level of consciousness. You're not doing anyone any favors. I don't see myself as doing anyone any favors by not coming in at my consciousness level. Now, there's people, and I watch and I see and I know, who are, I'm preschool. But I'm coming in at my level of consciousness. I'm imagining the shit out of stuff. Yeah, there's days when it fucks with me. There's days when I realize a couple of years, 4 years or whatever, even of all the time and energy that I have put into this, time-wise, energy-wise, passion-wise, I mean, and we don't, time is an illusion, whatever. But I mean, as far as just in a logical sense of for a conversation about it, I mean, when I tell you time-wise, the amount of hours that I spend, but it's because I love it. It's because I love it. And there's a reason. And yes, we have allowances for being human beings because we have, we just woke up. We kind of just woke up. But having said that, I'm saying come in at a higher consciousness. It's like there's new technology right now. There's new apps, there's new things, right, that exist right now. So what I have to first go back and get like, let's say I'm just now old enough to use a phone. Am I going to teach my kid to use a rotary phone and then work them all the way up? Or am I just going to bring them in a consciousness of what's going on right now and explain that right now? See what I'm saying by that? So what we knew 3 years ago, what I knew 3 or 4 years ago when I first came into this, when I first started learning, and the people that I was following, honestly, were relatively new. They were learning. They were in groups. Some of these most major coaches that you know were in groups that I was in. Some of them switched theories from the law of attraction to law of assumption almost overnight. You know, you see them, you see their progress, and that's fine. That's fantastic. I love it. But if we're coming in now, why not jump on board? Why not jump on board so that you are not, for example, I caught myself doing this. I was saying, you know, hey, I knew this was going to be my business. I've shared that 1,000 times. I knew that was decided in my imagination. No ifs, ands, or buts. Then it happened. I got here. Things worked out beautifully, lovely. Then I started wobbling myself, questioning, blah, 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 blah. But I fucking persist because I persisted. This is who I am. This is how it's going to be. I know it, blah, blah. I know law of assumption. I understand this. I believe this. I believe I'm God. Those are the affirmations worth fucking telling yourself. Let your brain start remembering that, and your subconscious will have to show you that, and it will take you to the people, and it will take you to that level of consciousness. It will take you there, right? So I started doing that, and it has never failed me. So then I started catching myself after I got here, having some wobbly moments, because I had talked about that too. Even when I was explaining states, like, hey, you know, sometimes you get to a state, like when you switch, you have a desire, you get to a state, but it doesn't like really feel comfortable. And Neville talks about that, right? And it's true. You want to give yourself some allowance for being human, but you can minimize that. You can cut that to this much. You really can. Or if you're here, aim to cut it 10% or 50% or whatever. And then just tell yourself that story. That is why this is the fucking salvation to everything you want, because any problem you're looking at, any desire you have, right? It's basically our desires are almost always some sort of relief of something, right? So I want this because it will solve a problem, or I want this because it's, you know, I think it's gonna make me feel this way, and that's the way I feel now. It feels like a problem to me, right? So, and then we come up with this whole like I don't feel good enough shit. Don't ever talk about that. No scripture says you don't feel good enough. That's people's assumptions about what they feel, putting it onto you. And then you're like, yeah, I guess I don't feel good enough. Yeah, I guess I don't. And then now you're affirming this shit. And every time you're saying that and affirming that, you're telling yourself, I don't feel good enough. So now I have to feel good enough. So stop. I'm suggesting that you fucking stop with that. So what I was doing was falling for the lingo and the jargon that people cherry picked and then threw out there, not knowing, not even realizing for their own selves, not on purpose, but they are doing this and they're not realizing that those things are causing limiting beliefs. Those things are now putting things in your mind because you're what? You're hearing them, you're seeing them, you're listening to them, you're looking for answers. And you're taking somebody's half-assed knowledge and just repeating the same things again and again and again. And so you're willing to come in at that conscious level. And maybe you needed to at that point. But I'm telling you, you don't have to. You don't have to. So what I was doing was I was sitting there saying, I started getting a little bit wobbly. And I started saying to myself, oh my God, you know what? Like in a year, I would think about said coaches that we know. And I would think, you know, that's just like the social media world. That's like this much of the people that actually are aware of this concept. Okay. whether it's from Neville Goddard or whatever, there are people who study this, right? There are people who know this. And I was like, why am I putting my mind where I'm saying like, oh, well, hey, look at when they started. I remember when that person started and I watched them and I was like one of, I don't know, 9 or 10 people in their whole group. And now, they're doing this, that, and the next. It takes time. Why would I want to do that if I'm just imagining? So I had to catch myself and I had to say, no, if it were right now, the way it is right now is, this is the way it is right now. Now, I'm not promising that we get to know exactly when. That doesn't mean that because I have now declared that it's going to happen now, that, tomorrow I'm going to wake up with 8 million people. It could, but that doesn't mean that. But what it does mean is I am taking my attention. I'm doing what scripture says, aren't I? I'm believing. I'm creating my concept of myself. I'm conceptualizing my life from my imagination. Not from the facts, not from, oh, it takes time for these things to happen. Oh, it takes some buildup. Oh, I remember when they started, and look at them now as I'm comparing, right? I was comparing as a way to comfort myself. At that point, it was some comfort. Like, it just takes a little bit of time. Like, I remember, when this person started out with very few followers, everything just takes some time. Or I remember, whatever. Why? Because I was falling for the same thing. So one suggestion that I can actually give you, well, a couple of suggestions, but slow your roll for a second. Really take a minute. And if you're going to write, so this is what I suggest when it comes to writing, okay? You can script out a new story, but most people jump right to, what's your new stories? How many of us have written new stories? And what are they? I'm so loved. Everybody loves me. Everybody treats me great. I have so much money. My SP and I are married, right? All right, hold on. What if you slowed your roll before you start just writing these stories? And really think about, I'm still imagining things by looking at what is like right in front of me, by assuming that that's what's going on, by accepting that that's like a reality. So what do I want? Right. And then we go and we write down like, they text me every day, or, they're always calling me, or, whatever. I get a raise, or right. What if we slow our roll and we really ask ourselves, what do we want? And we go into our imagination and we think, I can have anything. I can literally have anything. So what would what is it that I really want? What is it that I really want? You don't want a fucking text message. Nobody wants a text message. Especially if you're older, you've lived your whole fucking life without even a text message. I'm embarrassed when I think about text messages. And knowing this and being 50, like, that's what I want in this life. And I don't feel, and then someone's telling me I don't feel worthy of it, or that I have to heal. What are you healing from? You did this. You imagined it. You imagined it. So what are you doing? Go into your imagination. Take a minute and think about, what do I want? Write down a simple sentence. This is what I want, okay? And then from that point, literally at that point, once you have your little sentence, that could be what you would say if it were real right now. If I was experienced, or I don't even want to use the word real, if it were in this realm right now for my sensory side, my logical side, to be eating the fruit of, looking at the flower, seeing the shadow, seeing the creation projected, right? So slow down for a minute, give a little bit more thought. Really, doesn't it make sense? I used to preach about, accepting that you're God, accepting that you're God. Okay. But now what I'm saying is accept that your imagination, that literally you're completely imagining everything. You're completely imagining everything because you're completely imagining everything. And it's going to be the key to getting everything. I'm telling you, it's the key to out of any problem. Because if I am sitting here worried about anything and I just imagine, I don't know what I don't even know what you're talking about. That's what I'm saying. We can rearrange. We can throw away the dictionary. We can rearrange the alphabet. You can tell any new story you want. It's the same substance. A problem told in a different way is just a rearrangement, which now equals a solution. Right? So fuck all of this, I have to heal. I have to write this. I have to feel chosen. I have to feel wanted. My self-concept, I'm going to repeat. I'm going to do. You're imagining that. And then you're doing work off of an imagination. So do you see how this is slowing your progress? Am I making sense as far as this goes? Like, if I continually am living in the realm, and then I'm also imagining from the imagined realm, I can literally go into my imagination and shut out everything I've known. So is it that first second going to change anything? No. Is it that first second going to be, believable Bible? No. Is it that first second going to do, like shift and all that? No. We know that. That's revealed to us. That's revealed to us. But people will fight you on that. No, I can. Okay. So what's revealed in scripture, you reject, but what you decide you keep, but yet you're not willing to do the things that is in scripture that are the simplest and easiest things to do, but yet you're deciding that this is real and you're going to have it, but yet you won't listen to people that are telling you, to ignore the circumstance or this or that, it doesn't matter. That you don't want to listen to, but yet you will continue to throw around jargon that you don't know and need. And then yet you sit here and you cry and you wonder, why the fuck am I not getting any results? So, your imagination, there's no free will. There's nobody. There's no thing. But the nice part about that's your salvation from everything. You can literally create anything you want. It's just, you have to just make the decision of how bad do you want. That's why he says, like, do you want it? Do you want it? Yeah, you're passing through states where you're going to see shit that you imagined easily. Right? About like, we talk about like resistance, right? And all that shit. Like, if you don't care about it, we're passing through states where we're going to see stuff all the time. So those synchronicities are fun, but those were there all the time. You just weren't aware of what they were. Now you're just a little bit more aware. But are you really manifesting? Are you really creating the life you want? Are you harnessing this by that? Are you You know, those things are fun because they give us that like, oh, you know, look, I really must be doing that. But what I'm suggesting and what I'm doing, what I'm insisting upon doing, and I'm just going to make myself, because again, I've accepted that I may be dead. I really have. It doesn't matter. I still have consciousness. I still am aware. And I still have, even if I imagine this, I did. It's here and I'm creating it. And if you're interested in manifesting, then you have some part of you is also along those lines. And that's why he says, test it, test it, test it, test it. So even if we're imagining that we're imagining and we're testing and we can make our experience, our imaginal experience better, do you see how it still circles back around that I'll still take it? I'll still take it because I'm still able to be aware and experience. So literally take your awareness out of the whole 3D realm. Go and start conceptualizing yourself from your imagination and come up with anything. With anything. It doesn't have to just be the opposite. It doesn't have to be like, well, you know, this person isn't texting me, so I want to hear from them. You know, you can go straight into like, you know, oh my God, like we just bought this amazing house and I can't believe, you know, like you can, I mean, I want you to get as creative as you possibly can. You can take that whole problem, crumple it up, throw it over your shoulder and not even try to fix that problem, but just go to something that would bring into your experience some really wild, fun life or scene or situation or relationship or whatever it is you want, freedom, invent something, play with it. You know what I'm saying? If you want your stuff. So I'm telling you, at this point, that's where I'm going into 23. And I've been saying it. If you want to go into 23 and you want, I don't even want it to rhyme, but it's like rhyming. But if you're okay with coffee and birds, then do your thing. If consciousness doesn't have you here yet, like, you know, in the beginning, I remember I used to go to, I've shared this, like Amanda from Create Your Future. I like her. I used to go to her channel. I didn't know what she was talking about. I would read Neville. I didn't know what he was talking about. I had the aversion to the religion stuff. And then I started listening. I started like being almost hypnotized and kind of called, like I couldn't stop. And then it was riveting and then it was exciting. And then I started seeing it. And yes, I have had very major life changes that I've imagined for myself. I've imagined hell and then I've imagined amazing things. Doing it, you know, asleep, doing it step by step. Now that I'm awake and aware to this, and I know that if I constantly say I level up and I understand and I'm God and you know, and I am powerful and I do always create from my imagination and I stop listening to all the bullshit and I just really hone in on that, you're going to go to levels you can't even think of probably at this second. Well, I mean, you can imagine it, but that you may be going like, huh. So sit down and write out like words I don't want to exist anymore, things I don't want to, you know, deal with anymore, things that are no longer part of my life. And crumple them up and throw them away. And then start writing new definitions, new sentences, new words, new things that are all going to be in your favor. And then slow your roll and then go a little bit bigger and just think, that's the sentence I would be saying. That's the sentence I would be saying. And that's all you have to do. And then literally just say that sentence, and then just get creative and start finding ways. So when it does come up, when doubt does come out, you can even just say like, Change the words, change the meaning of doubt. Like invest. I guess that's what I'm also trying to say. Invest. Neville talks about I mean, that such stands out to me where in the Coin of Heaven, where he's talking about his wife getting this, message, so to speak, of, are you spending your thoughts? Are you investing your thoughts? And by your return, are you happy with your returns? Are you happy with your returns? Are you ever going to know for sure that you are going to be awake in a time-space reality and have consciousness that this is something that is real, or that even could be real? And do you have something to counter me on? Do you have a better offer? Because this is the offer that Neville's giving. This is the offer that I'm presenting to you. Do you have a better one? If you have a better offer, then I can literally just fuck this whole world. I can invest my thoughts. They cost the same. The only money we need, the only currency we need, and we're rich and abundant automatically. Because can you think forever and ever and ever and ever? Can you just think of a million things right now? All that the thoughts ever stop? So imagine that's currency. And they're all worth the same. It doesn't cost me technically any more effort or not, or extra thoughts or anything to say I'm miserable or I'm thrilled. It's the same. So which are you buying? Because you're going to take it home and you're going to live it. So which are you buying? So if someone else can make me a better offer, then being aware of this, start letting go of this, like all this crappy, religion. And I mean, I just keep calling it like jargon and friggin', it's all it is. Leave a comment and read the PDF. It just goes over this again and again in a simple way. There is no free will. So you can't, everyone is you push out. There is no one else to change. People saying, can you change somebody? Who? Yeah, you can change somebody. One person. You. Who are you infringing upon? You. Who are you creating for? You. This is all you. Because you're God. There's only one. Hey, girl. So yes, so I am absolutely going all in. I'm going all in. And if anybody wants to make me a counter offer that's better than this for me to consider, I will. But we have been told 8,000 times, 8 billion times, you are just imagination. God is your wonderful human imagination, and that is literal. So start coming up, start conceptualizing your life from your imagination. Find a way. You have fortitude. I saw a great Steve Harvey thing. I think I'm going to post it in my Facebook group, saying you have survived. Your survival rate is 100% right now. Through everything you thought you couldn't do, through everything that felt hard, through everything that felt impossible, through everything you didn't believe in yourself in, your survival rate is 100%, right? So you have the fortitude to do it. Stop fucking around. Make a decision. Literally, sit down with yourself and say, is there a better offer? Is there? Leverage things. Leverage them. Yes, my brain is going to say, but Heather, that's false. I know. It's in the fucking definition. Although false. There, shuts my brain up. Our brains, thank God, we're very easily distracted. Any little shiny thing. You could literally do a pattern break with someone by saying to them, if they're talking to you on the street and you want to go, you can just be like, look at that. And then just be like, oh, it's been good talking to you, and go. You can literally do that. That's how easily distracted we are. And then just keep walking. So you could use that with yourself, right? That's why I'm telling you, the simplest things are the whole, like, I remember when, or it was a dream. Having an inner conversation. Holy shit, I just had this weird dream. And it's so weird that dreams can make you feel so anxious. And then just have any fucking body in your mind say, yeah, I know, that's so weird. Anyway, how this great thing. Tell me more about this, this invention you have. Tell me more about this experience you had. Tell me more about your honeymoon. Tell me more about, whatever. The house you're building in Italy. Tell me whatever. Anything that distracts you. And if it's in your mind saying, I want this, again, work with your teammate, so to speak, because that's you, that's you not dying fast enough, right? These states they're states of mind. Don't even get caught up in we start to, I think, turn everything into something. It's like you're a state. It's just a state. It's just a state. And now it's like, well, what the fuck's a state? Or even when I say like the traits are in the, states hold the traits. To me, those are helpful. Those are like catchy little things that I can remind myself quick. It means that the state of mind that I'm in, right, is full of all the ideas. If I'm just God now animating it and then bringing it to life, it's all being expressed by my attention and awareness. It's telling God what to form into, the Father, what to form into. But remember, we're one, right? So, like I said, go all in. Go all the fuck in, because you're just imagining. And make a choice to accept something that is like Ashley, you're a great example, right? Anybody. I want to learn a new language. I was like, when COVID came, I was like, I'm going to learn Arabic. Arabic's a very hard, like, quote, level 5 language, right? Certain language, like Mandarin and different languages, right? As opposed to Spanish, which has very similar words, right? It's a whole new thing you have to do with your throat and glottal. Is that right? It's really fucking strange. It's really fucking weird. I don't know anything about it. None of it makes sense. I don't have any idea what any of it means. It's not even close, right? Like I said, it's not like Spanish or something where it's similar or words cross over. You can kind of get an idea. It's not. You have no idea. But we're willing to say, hey, I want to learn it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And people do it. So there's tons of things we don't know what we're doing, and yet we dive in. And I was able to, after 4 months, have a, probably Tarzan-ish but I had a decent vocabulary, and I was able to have a somewhat conversation because I was doing it daily. Same thing with an instrument. If I handed you like a cello right now or something, you don't know anything about music, what are you gonna do with it? But if you actually invested in yourself and practice, 6 months from now or 3 months from now, you would be able to do something that wouldn't hurt people, right? So think of your brain as an instrument. Accept the challenge. Be willing to be open-minded. And when you go to doubt, ask yourself, is there a better fucking offer? And if you can come up with one, please share it. Make a fucking YouTube channel and start sharing your better plan than that I can imagine, and that's what's going to show up. And the thing about it is, we don't have to feel lonely or isolated or all that. We can and we do, and I did, and these are normal. Like I said, we always have to remember there's a reason we are in the 3D realm, right? There's a reason we are in the 3D realm. God wouldn't have done this. There's a reason. And so we're part of that plan. But there's also this gift, right? We're keyed, God, it's called keyed low, right? To almost not noticeable, but noticeable enough that we do still have it. And if you're here in this time space reality and you know this, whether you're, like I said before, whether you're dead or not, you still have consciousness and you still have imagined something that could make your imaginary time and your imaginary death better. But I don't care like how crazy you need to get. Except that it's just imagination. But it will harden into a 3D realm. Personification, fact, taste, touch. That's the point of the 3D realm. So if I'm imagining people and touch and taste, yeah, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get to touch and taste it and feel it and drive it and hear it tell me it loves me and travel and see things and speak languages and look at things I believe exist. And from my sensory, they go together. That's what I'm saying. They go together. They work out. Be a team. Create from your imagination. Create from the right side. Conceptualize from there. Plant your seed. That's your fucking garden. That's your fucking little Santa's elf workshop. That's your little whatever. That's your little lab. Create there. Let this realm produce it for you to smell the flowers, eat the fruit, touch the person, see the place, take the thing. But it's all imagination. It's all imagination. Whether you like that or whether you don't, it's happening anyway. And if you're here and you know this and you're being told this and it's being taught, move past the same old. Manifest the cup of coffee. Manifest this. Get a text message today. Your self-concept is this. Your self-concept is that. What do you want? What would the sentence be? Find the quickest little hack. Again, maybe that doesn't work for you, and it's certainly not mine, but the whole, I remember when, or that was a weird dream I had. Have an inner conversation with somebody that's like repeating back to you, yeah, I know those dreams are weird, or, oh, wow, it's weird that you're having that dream. That was taken care of years ago. Your brain will be fine. And then just back to this is how wide open it is. You can think anything, just not that. Just not what you don't want about that one situation. And yet we're like, we really think that we can't. And I know that we can, because I've had my own personal experience of being in a place where I was very severely depressed, and I would fight for my limitations with every ounce of non-energy that I had. And they would say to me, no, you can control your thoughts. And I would say, words that would come out of my mouth would be like, no, thoughts, emotions fall on me like a wet wool blanket. I would stand in the center of a room arguing with counselors, arguing with everybody who were telling me, that I did have some control. I did have some, say in this. I could control my thoughts, blah, 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 blah. And those were the words I would say for ever and ever and ever. And then I would walk home feeling like my soul was hit by a truck and be miserable every day and lay in a bed. Who was in hell? And was there help being offered to me? And I just wasn't there. I wasn't willing to do it. So I'm telling you, you can. You can. You can. I know you can. I know you can. And plus, I'm fucking imagining you. So we do manifest for each other. We don't even not manifest for each other because I'm creating you and you're creating me. And that is literal. And that is all I'm going to be talking about. So that's all I'm going to be talking about. And believe me, my sentences are how much everybody loves it, how much everybody is thrilled to get into a new phase of this social media manifesting. I don't look at this shit anymore. I don't watch this shit anymore. I don't even know what's going on for the most part. I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, I am the only one that exists. Neville Goddard exists. A couple other people exist. I exist on social media. You're increasing your wealth. Everybody is so full of wealth and abundance because it's all just thoughts. Everybody is thrilled and happy. And we are now in levels where we are moving up to indulgences and thrills and fun. And that's where we're going to do. And it all just starts with sentences. What's this fucking sentence I would be saying? And that's my self-concept. That's where my concept is coming from. And then I'm going to reap those fruits and those things and those flowers and those people and that stuff. And that's what's going to happen. And I've already been doing it. School, you think school doesn't exist? I don't care. I shut the computer. You think I worry about, I don't even want to say the words because I've removed them from my vocabulary. And people will say, well, what are you doing about that? What am I doing about what? Or sometimes I'll tell a story like, oh yeah, I remember when you, back in the day, you used to have to pay for school. Yeah. No, they don't do that anymore. Or, in your maybe in, I think you're thinking of a different country. I think in some other countries, people have to like pay for school. I don't really know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. Whatever. And then I just move on. And I love that. And I love that. And I love that we don't even need to do that anymore. I love this. Nobody gives a shit about that. So I love that this is what I love. I love that I love imagining. Go in on that. The fun thing about imagining is it's creative. Everybody is naturally creative in some way. You know, maybe you think, well, I can't sing, or I can't write a song, or I can't dance, or I wish I could draw, or I wish I could do this. First of all, we can, because it's all one, you're God, so you can. But fine. If you're not that invested, I don't need to build this belief and spend all my time trying to like be, Van Gogh or something. But just the creative part that you get to use and unleash and have fun. And I mean, how do you think stuff gets created that you enjoy? Someone's free. They're letting their imagination just be free. So, we have to we have to do that. I mean, I'm just telling you that that's what I'm doing. And you're welcome to come along for the journey. And in my mind, of course, the lines are wrapped around buildings, because who doesn't want to have more fun? Who doesn't want to know this? Who isn't ready to have a great experience? Do you not see the shift in life anyway? You do. Because I know, I imagine that tons of people do. Because as soon as COVID came, I was like, this is great. I was among the people who were like, this is an awakening. This is going to be a great thing. Some of the words I said to people they were Esther Hicks words, but I remember saying, listen, in times of dying, there are those who are thrive. And in times of thriving, those are going to die. We're fucking thrivers. So, and this whole, Esther Hicks just has lots of great gems. So I will never diss her. I created her. There's certain things that vary, but she has so many great little gems that I love. You can't get poor enough to make the poor rich. You can't get sick enough to make the sick well. Like, stop comparing other people. You're here to go through experiences. Everything's already coming here. Everybody seems to agree with that. Anyone who's into manifestation, if you listen to Bashar, if you listen to Wayne Dwyer, if you listen to anybody, right? Esther Hicks, ministers, or some ministries out there where they're talking about this. There's different people. what we're doing is you hear this again and again. You're manifesting naturally, right? What we're doing is we've put not blocks individually, but we've put up we've taken ourselves so many degrees of separation that we think we're manifesting things into our experience. Really what we're doing is clearing out the way for shit to just be coming naturally to us, which it automatically is, because as within so without, and if we are imagining, that's the only way it can be. So I'm just imagining things that I don't want to be. So now I'm just clearing out and clean out your fucking house. Clean out the kingdom. You know what? Use this holiday season to hibernate in your mind and fucking clean. Give your brain a fucking clean out. Throw it all out. Literally. Maybe keep your kids and your pets. Some of your favorite things. Pretty much everything else, dump the fuck out. Start writing down things you want to believe, words that you want to have exist. Seriously, I mean, I make it so easy. Think about the alphabet. It's the same substance rearranged, right? What's it different? He talks about it as like a piece of steel, the difference between a magnet and a regular piece of steel. Look at how one powerful one is. What is it? It's just a different arrangement of molecules, right? That's it. What's the difference between a word? It's the difference if I say shit or poop. They mean the same thing, but one's bad, one's good. Well, rearrange it. Now what? It's a rearrangement. Same idea. But one has this meaning and one doesn't. Rich and poor, 4 letters. There's 4 letters. There's letters. There's just letters of an alphabet. There's symbols put together. And we put all of our things. Money. What is money? It's just a bunch of letters. It's not even money. What is it? Just start. It's your life's I'm serious. Your life's an anagram. You can take everything and just rearrange it and give it new meaning. And invest in the thoughts you want. Invest your thoughts so that your returns come. And the key to all of this, the key is accepting that it's all imagined. You're imagining it all. Your body, your everything. You're imagining it. So, like I said, I have tons of shit to offer. Jolene and I are having a blast. She's creating all kinds of stuff with her beautiful little documents and stuff. She has just a great way of taking what I'm thinking and expressing it in a great way. She's a manifestation for goddamn sure. And some are just so effortless because I truly just made a decision that this is just going to happen. And then you manifest in the people, you manifest in everything. I've told you guys, I've shared some of these things with you. And that I'm always thinking of you guys in loving ways and as of having what you want. When me and Catherine and Liz first started this, we were like, we're going to change the whole fucking game. You know why? Because we're going to be people who manifest for everybody, and that's what we're going to do. Well, guess what? Then we were like, our logic was like, oh, we can't do that. You can't do that. Blah, blah. And then I was like, but do you see what I'm saying? Why? Because we were being held back by believing in this shadow bullshit. If I'm imagining, then fuck yeah. Of course people will have success. You think I'm going to imagine myself as a shit coach? You think I'm going to imagine myself as someone who wants to hurt people? You think I'm going to imagine myself as somebody who wants to watch people suffer? You think I'm going to imagine myself as someone who wants that? You think I want to see myself as the savior? No, I don't. I don't even want to imagine myself. I don't even want to imagine myself as dealing with people talking about their fucking SPs and 3Ps. I don't even want to deal with that. I want to deal with people learning this so that they can fucking fly and go and create everything and anything and have fantastic experiences for the rest of their time here on Earth. That's what I want. Or I could sit there and be like, you're loved. Guys, remember, SP loves you. I could do that every fucking day. And I'm not judging people who do. Good. We need it. Everybody needs what they need. Everybody is imagining what they imagine. Everybody is serving a purpose. Everybody has to be out there. Everybody needs that. I'm glad I've used it to help me. But do you see me doing that? I've never done that. I am never going to. I could make my life, in theory, in a 3D, if I'm coming at it from a 3D realm, in theory, I could make my life so much fucking easier by just throwing this away, knowing enough of what I know, and hopping on there and putting 10 videos everywhere all day that are 2 minutes long, 3 minutes long, 60 seconds long to accommodate for the, attention span, and look at analytics and do all that shit and just say, just want to let you know, there's always movement, but you want you. And just keep doing it. I could do that. And I would have a huge following and I would have tons of people. I could make up shit. I could give tarot. I could teaching law of manifestation, law of assumption, Neville Goddard style. And I could be giving tarot card readings at the same time. And I could be doing this. And I could be doing that. I could be doing anything. And even some of the stuff I am, even like the whole, like sleep tapes, like, as far not sleep tapes, but like the story, like living the wish field. If you're having a hard time doing it, then I'll fucking tell your fucking story for you. And you can go to sleep listening to that because I believe in your fucking story and I will tell you your story if you have a hard time believing that. Because obviously somewhere I do believe that people struggle with that because I've seen it. So I'm buying into it. So, okay, then I'll tell you your story. And if you're going to go to sleep to that at least. It's like the most I can concede in my mind of like something that is putting power on the outside. But at least it's your fucking story. It's your fucking story that you're supposed to be going to sleep to listening to. That you're advised, that you're told in the book. To really just think about some of the shit that you're willing to accept and then some of those things that you're willing to not. It's like, I want all the things that come with this and I want to do all the easy things that it says to do. I'm going to fight and argue with that, but I'm going to take this part and then I'm going to be let down that I can't get this. And then I'm going to spiral. I'm going to talk about this stuff and then I'm going to come and repeat it all. And then I'm not going to do anything anybody says, but then I want what I want. And I've imagined that. And that's not a service. So that's why when I said, I'm going to do this, this is the group I want. I said, I saw what I saw. And I said, this is what I want. This is how it's going to be. And this is how it is going to be. And then my own doubt started having some wobbly moments but you learn from them. And that is why, in a way, you want to guide people. You want to help them understand this logically so they learn the instrument. But the whole point is, if I were to look at you in a way of like, oh, poor Peggy, she just doesn't get this. Or Ashley is dealing with these things. And I just wish she wasn't. No, that's Peter being upset and you're holding someone hostage, right? That's why Jesus says, that's why I put that out there. Trust me, I am when the things that I post, give them a fucking second watch if you don't understand, because they are there's a reason. There's a reason. Like, get ye behind me, Satan. I'm heading toward the cross. Right? Why? Because Peter was like, oh, I feel I feel bad for you. He doesn't want him to get. And Jesus is saying, do you not understand? I need to hate this so much that I need to guide to it. Get behind me. You're a hindrance. You're not helping. You're keeping me trapped here. I want to go to the fucking cross. Right? So there's a balancing act of like teaching, trying to explain the instrument so that then you understand why and how and when to go use the instrument. And trust me, I am writing sentences constantly of just, that it all works. That if I have a great balance, everyone's shining, everyone's fine, everyone's wealthy. We're just building on wealth. We're just building on abundance. We're just building on health. We're all having a blast in here. Is, the lines are around the corner. People cannot even believe it. Blah, blah, blah. Why not? Why not? And I'm going to see it. And then guess what else? The people in my dream, people in my reality, the people who match that are going to show up. And if you're seeing me, then congratulations, because I'm doing a lot of fucking work over here. I'm doing a lot of mental work on how amazing we are. So if you're here, no man come to me, save my Father, call him, and I and my Father are one. You're calling me. So you're welcome. Anyway, I'm going to leave it on that. I'm going to finish these podcasts that I have going on that I'm in the middle of recording on the core of man, doing chapter 4 of I Am My Father. Re-listen to this shit, post and comment, and get your fucking myth thing so you have something hard copy. The people who have it will testify and tell you. It's beautiful. It's put together. It's great reminders. It's telling you exactly what's going on. Stop watching a bunch of bullshit and decide that this is going to be the fucking year of your life. And if you want to decide not to, then please, I would love you to email me or comment and tell me what you got going. What's your, because I just gave you my offer. So what's yours? Because I'm open-minded. So you got something better? Tell me. Otherwise, you're fucking welcome.